need a bigger boat.
As difficult as it is to believe, famous scenes to popular movies are being supernaturally altered. These aren't issues where it's a different version or been re-released or edited for TV. Old original copies, still in personal possession, are now impossibly changed. Doesn't matter if it's film, DVD, VHS, Laserdisc, or digital download. Many classic cinematic moments no longer exist the way you originally saw them. This is Our Revised Reality. I'm your host, Jacobian. I present to you the first of my Mandela-fied movies. And this is a great one to start with. If there's ever a movie I've seen close to a billion times, it's Jaws. No, not that Jaws. He's a subject for another video. This Jaws, considered the first ever blockbuster summer movie. At least for now. As a child, I was fascinated with the entire franchise. By happenstance, I ended up watching the films in reverse order. Jaws 3 I saw first because it was most accessible, showing up on HBO all the time. This scene with the guy getting chomped from inside the mouth still disturbs me to this day. Truly horrifying. After that, the underrated Jaws 2, as it was the only one available at our rinky-dink little rental shop. Yet another scene that traumatized me as a child. Didn't show any gore, but my imagination certainly filled the void. Then finally, the original, and certainly best of the series, 1975's Jaws. If you're wondering about Jaws' revenge, I prefer to pretend it got Shazammed and never happened. We secured a copy in VHS and had it running pretty much on a constant loop. I'd even act out scenes with my toys while the movie was playing, and because it's truly a great film, I've watched it regularly throughout my adulthood. We're gonna need a bigger boat. That's what the line was. That's what was said. Now it's, you're gonna need a bigger boat. His follow-up line changed too. A concerned Chief Brody used to say, we're gonna need a bigger boat, right? Has now also switched to, you're gonna need.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, right?
It was a boat's three-man crew, plus you, the engaged audience member, all stuck in the situation together. That's the feeling it invoked, but does no longer. Now it's only Quint's problem, and we all know what happened to him. What's great is no one has to take my word for it. We've got grade A, amazing evidence directly from the source. With a Making of Jaws documentary, where screenwriter Carl Gottlieb and actor Roy Scheider, who played the role of Chief Brody, reflect on the creation of the improvised, often quoted, famous line. Let's see what they have to say about all this.
And oft quoted lines in the movie is Roy Scheider saying, "We got to get a bigger boat," which he improvised on the set, and I acknowledge that as a writer.
I'm going to pause here because I know how the deniers out there will react. They'll go, "Oh, the screenwriter said gotta get, already he's wrong," interrupting the key piece of upcoming information, getting hung up over nothing when I haven't even made the point yet. Let's calm down until we get to the juicy part. What's important here is a setup. The screenwriter confirming it was indeed the actor who came up with the line, and how he was glad he did because it worked so well for the scene. Now let's go to the man who actually said the line. This is the moment to exercise scrutiny with what gets said.
The line, "We're going to need a bigger boat," which has become part of the language for people who are faced with an insurmountable problem.
Glorious. Good Lord, how great is that residue? Don't you just love it? I first saw this on Moneyback's channel. Just one of the all-time greatest finds. Let's hear it again.
And oft quoted lines in the movie is Roy Scheider saying, "We got to get a bigger boat," which he improvised on the set, and I acknowledge that as a writer. I'm pleased that he said that.
The line, "We're going to need a bigger boat," which has become part of the language for people who are faced with an insurmountable problem.
An insurmountable problem is getting some of you out there to wake up to the fact this thing is real. I don't need this kind of evidence to confirm what I've always heard, but man is it nice to have. Mandela deniers always ask, "Oh, well, what do the actors have to say? Let's hear it directly from the horse's mouth." Well, here you go. Here it is. Now what? And I know what the reaction will be. they'll dismiss the very thing they asked for and make every desperate attempt to rationalize it away, saying things like, "He's not talking about the literal line in the film. He's speaking culturally on how it's become a common saying when facing a big problem." Or the classic memory excuse, "A lot of time has since passed. He's just as susceptible to misremembering as the rest of us." No. He's as sharp as can be in this interview, speaking coherently, unambiguously, specifically, in the contextual setting of a documentary, what the wording of that line was in the film and how it came about. That's why they're devoting a segment to its origin. It's not some throwaway line he'd forget. Imagine if you coined a phrase and it happened to become countrywide, if not worldwide famous. You don't think you'd recall word for word what the line was? It would be unforgettably special. And let's not forget the most important part of the equation, that it's precisely the same words directly heard for ourselves watching the damn movie. Stop pretending these actual life experiences don't matter, especially if you've seen the film a bunch of times. Why deny something that's so solidly known? I don't understand this gaslighter mentality. It's a constant battle. Strangest of all, these Mandela deniers will even gaslight themselves. If this one's not good enough to break through some of the stubbornness, don't worry. There's more coming. Stay tuned, folks. See you at the next shift.